Hey, what's up, and welcome to Movie Dumpster Season 6, Episode 8. Today we're talking about Problem Child 2 from 1991, directed by Brian Levant. I'm Joe Lascola.
And I'm Sean O'Rourke.
Welcome to the Dumpster. Here we are, Sean. Twice the problem? Twice the child? Problem Child 2.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't even really think about that.
Double
but that's
trouble,
true.
double
Yeah.
trouble, yeah.
Doyle and Double Trouble.
Double,
Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Mary-Kate and Ashley, Boyle and Bubble, yeah.
Something like that.
I don't know. You got to ask Mr. N about that, and we're not quite sure what the deal is.
Yeah, Meshack Taylor, John Hurt's replacement. That never really panned out, but that was an idea we had at one point. Anyway.
Oh my God, the antithesis of John Hughes Buchanan with Meshack Taylor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to that episode from many years back. One of our Trick or Trash episodes.
That was the first year of Trick or Trash.
Oh, yeah.
Double Toil and Trouble with the Olsen twins.
That might even have been the Halloween episode. If not, it was the one right before it.
That's a fun one. Phil Fondacaro joins us for that show.
Yup.
With another excellent monologue besides the one in Troll. Yeah.
And Agatha gets stuck in a mirror, and then she cuts out, pushes her sister in, and she gets eaten by the fucking Hugga Bunch.
Cloris Leachman?
Yeah, Hugga Bunch. They're vicious. Biting her,
God. Just because we're on that, she's also in Prancer. It's a whole fucking thing.
She's
Granny Van Dam.
Yeah, she's also the granny in fucking Beverly Hills Hillbillies, if we ever cover that one.
And then, Jim Varney is in that. So the Ernest tie-in comes right back.
MDU is real, Joe. We keep saying it, but it keeps happening.
Factual.
But yes, Problem Child 2. A film you've been talking about for a long time.
Yeah, I feel like we've been starting every episode with, we've been talking about this one for a long time, but, we're
trying to cross them off the list,
We really are. We really got the list out. We're fucking making it. We're checking it twice, then checking them off.
We got that pencil that Junior uses in that first movie to write those notes to fucking Kramer.
The Bowtie Killer is, we've been in correspondence with him.
Yeah, or it's possible, actually, we got the pencil from Gilbert Gottfried's desk in this film. He's got that pencil desk.
He's got enough. I really like that desk, by the way, when we get to it. It's kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, I agree. And like we said, we've been talking about this for a while, but we actually got a voicemail on our last episode from our fan Matthew, so thank you for the suggestion. Kind of pushed us off the proverbial edge.
Oh, yeah, we were right on the precipice, and off we go.
Yeah, I think right before that, Joe was like, maybe next year, then we got that message, and it's like, all right, it's happening on the hotline.
It's turbo time. Yeah.
But this was my first viewing of Problem Child 2,
yeah.
and my first viewing of the first one in a very long time to kind of get the whole Problem Child experience, although you told me there's a 3 and a 4?
There's a 3. There's no 4. There's a 3 and an animated series.
Oh.
And we'll get to that shit.
Okay.
But yeah, before we get into this, we just want to let you know if you want some more Movie Dumpster content, you can head over to patreon.com/moviedumpster, and you can grab yourself an ad-free audio version of the show, and you can support the show for as little as $2 a month.
And for no money at all, if you're watching this video on YouTube, just leave a like on the video and share it with your friends. And if you're listening to our favorite podcast app, leave that 5-star review or give it a thumbs up on Spotify. It really does help get the show out there into more eardrums and more eyeballs. Get some more dumpster dwellers here in the dumpster with us.
Oh, yeah, man. You got to grow that dumpster community. But if you want more updates on what's going on, what shows we have coming up, if we have events coming up, all that kinds of good stuff, you can go to moviedumpsterpodcast.com. We have a brand new website, brand spanking new website, brand new store, all kinds of goodies for you there. Go check it out. And definitely follow us on all your socials. You can do the Twitter, at Instagram, at Facebook, at Threads, the whole 9 yards, at Movie Dumpster on all of those places. And check us out.
And with all that said, Problem Child 2, Joe, I'm sure there's some, what's that term we like to use? BTS.
The BTS, yes. Well, this one's done by our Lord and Savior, Brian Levant.
Lord and Savior?
Yeah, he's back on the show.
Yeah, right.
Well, he is. Well, he's the patron saint of Turbo Man.
Right. Well, Jingle All the Way?
Yes. Famously directed Jingle All the Way. Both of those fucking Flintstones movies.
Oh, God, right.
Both movies.
Man. Even Rick Moranis and John Goodman wouldn't come back for that sequel. I don't think anybody really did, actually. Rosie was like, fuck that.
When Rosie says no, then it must be really bad.
Yeah. He also directed Beethoven.
Yes.
Which I remember liking as a kid.
I like the first and second one.
Yeah. The second one, you lose a little steam, but there's an idea there.
There's isn't, what's his face in it? Not Sean Penn, his brother.
Oh, Chris Penn.
Chris
yeah,
Penn
he's
is
like
in it.
a dog napper or
Yeah,
something,
but it's
right?
just so funny because I'm like, this is what happened, right? When he's not working for fucking Daddy, and the Reservoir Dogs.
Right.
Yeah.
Lawrence Tierney,
When
right,
he's not
exactly.
working for Lawrence Tierney, he's out stealing puppies and shit.
Well, unfortunately, Lawrence Tierney got abducted, or not abducted. He got his body taken over by some kind of fucking ghost or demon.
Aisha Kondisha's
Yeah,
in
exactly.
there.
There you go.
He became a seductress of men.
Right.
And he went and to steal St. Bernard puppies.
And no longer tipped people.
No.
Or, everyone's got to give a buck. He doesn't tip himself.
Steve
He'll pay for the
Buscemi.
meal.
Steve Buscemi's
Right,
problem.
Lawrence
Yeah.
Tierney, after that possession, he doesn't tip. He makes everybody else do.
I don't know if he knows what tipping is.
Well,
He's a
Reservoir
fucking
Dogs
demon.
is the reference.
Yeah. He also did, speaking of dogs, he did Snow Dogs.
Oh yeah, that's where I was going with that. Yeah.
And he did the god awful Christmas Story 2.
You don't start Snow Dogs with God Awful. Yeah, they're both God Awful.
I would rather have an original awful movie than an awful sequel.
But, yeah, I mean, I guess I still never did watch it, but that new, more recent Christmas Story 2, which I actually heard was pretty good, to replace that Christmas Story 2.
Yeah, just real quick, not to go on a Christmas Story tirade, but like it was okay, like it was fine. It was.
Was it better than this whatever he directed with Daniel Stern?
Yes.
Okay.
It was sweet. It was whatever, I guess, question mark. If you want it, fine. It was inoffensive, whatever. I don't care.
Got you.
It was kind of nice to watch with the family or whatever.
But Snow Dogs, I don't know if you've even tried to sit through that
Isn't
one.
that Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yeah, I know a lot of people consider it one of the worst movies ever. I don't know if I go that far, but I think I made about 20 minutes into it before turning it off on cable one time.
It probably sucks, but you know how I feel about that one of the worst movie ever things.
No, yeah, that's what I'm
mean?
saying. I mean, you're wearing a Howard the Duck shirt, for God's sake.
And this is one of the worst movies ever.
We talked
I don't
about
think
it
so. Yeah.
in that episode we did many years ago.
Correct. But speaking of bad sequels, this is not one of them because
Right.
Problem Child 2 is a fantastic sequel. The rare, very good sequel, just
Yeah.
as good or better than the first movie. But I want to talk a little bit about Problem Child 3 real quick, just to get it out of the way.
Okay.
All right.
Lay it on me.
So
and the dumpster dwellers.
So none of the original writer, like LaWanda doesn't come back to director or anything like that. Michael Oliver and John Ritter are replaced by William Catt. And, William Catt.
From House.
From House, yeah. Roger Cobb himself.
And I feel like he was in something else we covered, but definitely House.
Well, yeah, he's also in Carrie as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then the little kid, Junior, is replaced by the kid Billy from Jingle All the Way. Phil Hartman's kid.
Okay, I guess and then eventually they knew each other. I don't know what came out first. Problem Child 3 or Jingle All the Way?
I think Problem Child 3 predates Jingle All the Way.
Okay,
Or it's the next year. It's either the next year or the year after Jingle All the Way.
Either way, you know that thing, directors, they reuse people.
Sure, but like...
You're
who
weird.
the
I'm
fuck
with
wanted
you.
It was made for NBC. Made for TV.
Okay.
It's called Problem Child 3 Junior in Love. And I don't fucking need any part of that.
Junior? Was he in love with Trixie?
No. So that's the weird thing. Like Trixie doesn't.
I guess that would be a stepsister, right? In
technically,
theory.
but like Annie's not in the movie. Like Trixie's like just for the characters wise, because we're already switching actors. Trixie's not in the movie. Annie's not in the movie. LaWanda's not in the movie. None of the people from Problem Child 2 are in the movie except for Big Ben.
The same actor, Big Ben, comes back?
The same actor for Big Ben comes back. Gilbert Gottfried comes back as Igor Peabody, and Eric Edwards comes back as Murph.
The oldest kid in the school or whatever?
Yeah, no shit. He's been there since 1970.
Yeah.
But those are the people that come back for the. Who the fuck could care? Like, I don't want it at all.
Yeah, that's worse than Home Alone 4.
What the reason that these first two movies work is because of Michael Oliver and John Ritter.
Oh yeah,
because they can carry the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Amy Yasbeck adds the additional flair.
And
to
as
both films.
Amy Yasbeck's fucking hilarious, and she's great too in her own right.
Yeah.
But I think this was, they got lucky with one. 2 was like lightning in a bottle, and then that was it. Like, just wipe your hands of it. You're done. You know what I mean?
I wonder if just because the kid was too old and they were like, fuck it, it's going to TV. We don't want to pay him.
I was trying to find so hard, like, what the reasoning was. And it had to be because it came out, nearly 6 years after this movie.
Oh, yeah. What is he made? A 17-year-old prom child?
Exactly. And, like, he completely aged out of the role by then.
Right.
That's why they rushed Problem Child 2 into production the next year after they got the green light, because the first one was a moderate success, like a sleeper hit.
I mean, he's already looking a little older in a couple of these scenes. I mean, it still obviously works, don't get me wrong, but you can see, the year gap for sure.
Because he's like 10 in this.
Okay.
I think, something like that. So yeah, that's Problem Child 3. And then there was 2 seasons of a Prom Child cartoon.
Right. Oh, yeah, you said that.
Now, I looked this up, and I was like, the Prom Child cartoon. I was like, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember for the life of me. So there's no full episodes, I don't think, on YouTube, but I found the intro for the first season, and the second season is on there. But I watched it, and like, I can remember, I have this vague memory of listening to that theme song and like, Problem Child, or whatever it was, whatever the tune is, whatever the sing-songy bullshit is for that. Problem Child! But I can't for the life of me remember anything about that cartoon or whatever. But what's funny is Gilbert Gottfried comes back to do the voice for Peabody in the cartoon.
Does he have the likeness?
He does have the likeness.
Okay.
Settle down, you little brat, or I'm gonna use the paddle!
Sign me up for that, at least, at the very least.
That's why, I think that's what really intrigued me to like want to watch it. Because when we did the Garbage Pail Kids episode with the Doom Generation gals, I was like, fuck, that's right. There was a Garbage Pail Kids animated a cartoon, and I went to go look for it, and there's full episodes on YouTube. There's no full episodes, at least I don't think, as of this recording, of the Problem Child cartoon up there.
If we could ever hunt it down, or maybe someone sends it to us, come on. Maybe we'll do something on Patreon with that.
And just
fuck it. Why not? It's hard to find.
Do a mini of the first and second. It's 2 seasons. I was like, holy shit. There's 50 episodes of this fucking show?
That's kind of crazy to me.
For a Problem Child animated series?
It makes me wonder, and I hate to make this connection, but it's almost impossible for me not to, because the concepts are similar, but obviously very different execution. Dennis the Menace also had a cartoon, so I wonder if that was just I know a lot of shows got a cartoon. Men in Black had a fucking cartoon, for God's sakes. Ace Ventura had a cartoon. Mask had a cartoon.
The difference between Dennis the Menace and Problem Child 2 is that I'm pretty sure it was a comic strip, then it was a cartoon, then it was a movie. But I was looking up vintage interviews on YouTube and of Michael Oliver and Ivy Ann Schwan, and it was just super cute because they're like, they're like super young, and they're like talking about acting and like how you got to do it because you love it, and like I don't. It was just. It felt good to watch, and I was like, and they seemed to really bond and have a really good time. And then I saw the thing where after John Ritter passed away, unfortunately, Amy Yasbeck, I think, got everybody back together for like the John Ritter Foundation, and they did like a Problem Child 2 like reunion, and they did like pictures and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of neat, and it was kind of sweet. So I thought that was cool. If you want to check that out.
Because I don't think either kid actors, maybe Michael Oliver might have done some stuff when he was a little older, but from the IMDb's at least, it looked like the little girl, she did this in Parenthood with Steve Martin, and that is it.
Yeah, she was acting. She did a lot of bit parts.
Oh, maybe bit parts. I can see that.
Yeah, this movie is full of bit part people.
Has quite a few, yes. Yeah. A lot of that guy, that gal kind of stuff.
But like the best parts of that guy, that girl, that gal, you know. And that's pretty much it.
Sure.
You know, I think the last thing I want to say is just I really love the score of this movie.
Yeah, no, it's really well done.
It flip-flops between like whimsical child mischievous like child music and like
Bad to the Bone.
Bad to the Bone. Yeah, but I'm talking about original score.
No, I know.
But then you have stuff like when like LaWanda comes and there's like this weird like sexy come up and shimmy sometime kind of like old Hollywood kind of thing going on.
Some hokiness attached to it intentionally.
It's like, you know, I don't know. It's iconic to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this is like a sort of a cult film.
Sure.
And of course, kids growing up with this, I feel like, are the ones that it's going to resonate the most with watching this episode, especially. But I don't know. I really like it. I find myself whistling the theme a lot. This movie is very near and dear to me. By the way, this is a very heavy link in the chain bond that my wife and I share.
Oh, do you want to talk about that a little? Because I mentioned this is my first viewing, but you didn't really talk about like your history with it yet.
Well, first of all, my history with this, like as a kid growing up, like this was a constant rental rotation, so much so that we ended up buying it. My sister and I, our folks bought it for us because we used to watch it so many damn times. We played the shit out of the tape. we played it so much, it's gone. If you
Yeah.
don't see a VHS on the table, it's because my copy from childhood is destroyed.
So say your dad or your mom, they were sick of going to the store and having to pay them $50 because you ruined another one of their fucking tapes.
Well, no, we bought the tape. But
no,
we,
I meant you kept renting it over and over
We kept
again.
renting it. Yeah, we'd rent it like every weekend.
Yeah, sure.
We eventually got the copy, and then we just played the shit out of it, and like as kids do, colored on the cover and all that shit. Like drew the mustache on Junior like on the cover because that was in the movie or something. But yeah, fast forward, turns out Julie and her brother used to watch this movie all the time as kids. So then when we found out that we shared the mutual love for it, it's become tradition for us now because we love it so much. This is our 4th of July movie.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of grilling in this. I could see that.
Well, we wanted to kind of put this episode out a little earlier.
Sure, yeah.
And the idea there was it would be the 4th of July episode, but we didn't quite get there. But it's
still in July.
It's still July. We're still. It's all good, baby. You can still barbecue. It's summertime.
Yep.
But
Gramps is out there flipping and flipping and flipping.
But you know how like you have the 24 Hours of Christmas Story?
Yeah.
Like this is 24 Hours of Problem Child 2 is, I mean, you also have Uncle Sam in there.
Okay, you gotta flip that on occasionally.
You gotta put that in Commando. You're lining up, you know what I mean? Some stuff like that.
Bookend it.
Yeah, bookend it. Throw it in there. But Problem Child 2 is like our 4th of July movie. All the colors in this movie, all the primary colors like the reds and the blues and the whites and the greens and it's just so bold, and the yellows. It's like
it's kind of in your face, but like not in a bad way.
It's almost like a cartoon. It's like a live action cartoon blended with like a Leave It to Beaver episode.
A demented one,
yeah,
but
a demented one, like a fun house of a movie. And I've used that term before for like Child's Play 2. And Child's Play 2 would be the horror version equivalent of Problem Child 2. In terms of like setting tone, primary colors, that spooky funhouse kind of feel. This has more like a bright, clowny funhouse kind of feel, but similar in my brain, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
So for one of our anniversaries, my wife made us the Love Rock from the movie. Almighty Love Rock, bring John Ritter and Amy Yasbeck together or something.
From the grave, I guess. John Ritter.
In the movie, they make a wish on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was like super sweet, and this is like one of my favorite things in my collection. So if that doesn't show you enough how much we love this, I don't know what does.
I don't know. That might put it over the top, Joe. Speaking of, since you are such a huge fan, you want to give us a little plot crunch on this one?
Absolutely. So you remember Problem Child, the first movie?
Yeah.
Well, this is the second one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So after the events of the first movie, John Ritter and Michael Oliver have waved bon voyage to all of the bullshit and leaving Cold River behind.
Yep.
Their shitty grandpa, their shitty wife, the bow tie killer, Michael Richards, those horrible neighbors. Everybody hated you. They're going to start a new life. Okay, John Ritter and Michael Oliver, or John Ritter loves Michael Oliver, and he wants to give him the love that he deserves, that nobody's given him, of course, from the first movie. Right, and that's still a running theme through this. So they move to Mortville, the divorcee capital of the world, and hilarity ensues because this movie is kind of like we're growing as a family, and we're kind of John Ritter can't sustain as one parental unit, right? Like he needs a wife,
right?
Again, somebody who's gonna love Junior as well for who he is and make everybody their family pretty much. And then fucking hilarity ensues, trying to get from point A to point B.
Yeah. A lot of characters are injected into the situation. But you're right. Yeah, we kicked the movie off where they just basically bail town, like you just said. Everyone hated you. Why would you stick around?
Your father, your wife, those horrible neighbors.
Which I'll just talk about the first one just real quick. Funny ass fucking movie. 5 out of 5 in my opinion.
Oh, it's a classic.
You have his wife in the first one, also played by Amy Yasbeck. So that's kind of a running joke here that she plays his love interest, or one of his love interests in this one. But she gets thrown in that fucking suitcase into like that truck.
What's that smell?
Pigs taking a shit on her or something. Yeah, Michael Richards is that bow tie killer that Junior's just literally writing to, and then that is why he wears a bow tie the whole movie.
Yeah, he like ends up like fucking Amy Yasbeck in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Well, because like in the first movie, they're like having the reason that they adopt Junior is because they can't have kids.
Right, and they're having marital problems.
Yes.
But then, like, also Amy Yasbeck's like a neat freak, and she has all this like fine china and a cat and everything.
She's such a despicable character in that
Yeah, I
movie
know,
because
yeah.
she just wants a kid
So
to
she could go to
parade
parties.
around the neighborhood and like go to PTA meetings and
Yeah.
like go to barbecues and birthday parties and shit.
Yep. But yeah, long story short, basically, there's a great scene at the end when they have this huge car chase because of Michael Richards and this, that, and the
Yeah.
other thing. And they have this joke they set up earlier in the film where Junior's driving a car by like laying down and using the pedals and everything. But now it's like they have this scene where John Ritter's like, "Oh, I have the shotgun. How what are we gonna do?" And then it's like he's driving with the pedals, and John Ritter's standing in the car with this fucking shotgun.
Yeah,
It's
great
insane.
job, Junior.
It's great, yeah. Turn left, turn
Yeah.
right. It's an all timer. So that's your setup of going into this one. John Ritter, like you said, he's a little lonely, but we'll get to that shortly.
We'll get to that shortly, yeah. So I love the intro to this movie. It does not. This movie starts and doesn't fucking stop until the end. And I think that's why another reason why it's just a breeze to watch. It's so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, oh, everybody, like, we're right out of the gate. Everybody hates you. Fuck this town.
Yeah.
And then, like, John Ritter's like, yeah, let's blow this joint. And he, like, runs over the Cold River sign. And then there's, like, a whole montage of them, like, going across country and, like, eating junk food and stuff.
They're also dressed the same. That's kind of an interesting detail.
It's cute, you know, like that father-son thing, you know.
Well,
That's a very instilled in the first movie.
Right, well, son of dork, son of dork. Yeah, he starts to dress like a dork a little bit, but
My wife, Julie, says that all the time, like, around the house.
son of dork.
Son
yeah.
of dork. I love the beginning of this because like I don't know, like I always wanted to do a road trip like with my dad or like my family like that. And I don't think I've ever done that where we're like we took this long maybe when I was
Ran
a
over
kid-
the sign.
Well, yeah, right. Run over the sign, drink Pepto-Bismol out of the bottle from eating too many chili dogs and checkers. But like when I was a kid, I think we went to we went to like North Carolina a couple times or south of the border rather, and I think Florida, but like I was little.
Sure.
So like we didn't drive anywhere like after that as I was old enough to do stuff like this, I guess is what I'm saying. So it's fun to watch. And it's fun to watch John Ritter and Michael Oliver like do their thing back and forth. And it's so funny because then like there's like it's a montage of them driving to the new town. So like there's scenes where like Junior's sleeping in the car and John Ritter looks over and he's like, "Oh, that's sweet." And
There's
then
the
like
driving.
and then
yeah.
later Junior's driving and he's like giving people the finger and stuff. I don't know. It's all slapstick shit. It's great.
He's got cinder blocks or something on his shoes now. I forget what the hell he's doing. He's not like driving it the same way he does in the first one.
No,
but yeah.
he's just driving.
It's pretty good.
It's great.
But yeah, they get to Mortville, and they have this beautiful house. And at first, Junior's got to be a prick right off the bat.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got the slingshot ready. Shoots this little girl's balloon.
Trixie, we get introduced to Ivy Ann Schwan.
She's got the greatest like frown. I can't even do it justice. Like
My sister could do it really good.
It's pretty funny. Just the facial the faces this little girl makes are great.
She's so fucking cute and funny. She's just funny as hell.
But yeah, they get to the house and it's like this beautiful house on the inside. Like, oh wow, this is gigantic, Dad. This is gonna be so much fun.
It's apple pie American town USA. Like nothing. You know what it's like? It's a Stepfather town. Stepfather is in this fucking town.
no.
I think I said that in Stepfather 3. He moved into
Probably
Mortville.
Yeah. Oh, you probably did. It probably
Yeah.
just went over my head.
Oh yeah, no, he's there, man. He's gonna move in on one of these women. That's why he has such an easy time. You know,
that's the problem. It was activated after part 3. The hand situation, and he keeps coming back every once in a while, and the wizards or someone's got to take care of it. The MDU Avengers.
it is a fucking buffet because like he could just go to each house on the block and just hit another like divorced woman.
Well, and he can blame Junior.
Yeah.
Well, Junior he caused too much destruction. Something fell on those women. I don't know.
Oh,
well, okay, yeah, it was a problem child.
Prom child versus stepfather. That's something I want to
Well,
see.
I think Stepfather's going down.
Oh yeah, big time. That is
I don't know
like
how it's going to happen,
That
but
is
it's
like some
happening.
Kevin McAllister shit going on with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some of that in this movie. It's like if Kevin McAllister had a fucking PhD.
If Kevin McAllister was like a homicidal maniac.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the first movie paints that picture very vividly.
yes.
But yeah, so the gimmick in this one, like we said, is that John Ritter doesn't have a wife anymore, but like Joe said, he needs someone to help him with Junior, and he's lonely. So, to his surprise, an entire fucking line of women from the neighborhood that are just looking for dick are lined up having pies, casseroles, sweet potatoes.
I just baked you a cherry pie. Debbie Klawkinski's there, fucking licking her fingers and shit.
Making it all sexual.
Yeah, and like Junior like slams the door in her face. It's a great gag.
Yeah, John Ritter's like, that was so rude. Opens the door, there's another woman there, and they keep handing him the desserts.
He like looks out, and there's a fucking line of people. There's like a male woman and like all kinds of shit. It's a good gag.
It's it makes me think of Edward Scissorhands a little bit because they were all like kind of hot for Edward in that movie too.
That's
Not
a
a one-to-one,
different kind of problem.
Well, true. They like those scissors. They like scissoring, man.
Especially the Suzanne Summers woman. That's not Suzanne Summers.
Yeah, I know the redheaded woman.
The redheaded woman.
That's trying to get him in the fucking salon.
Oh yeah.
That same woman's definitely going after John Ritter. That was an off-screen scene.
Well, it's LaWanda. Maybe.
Oh,
Could be. Maybe her sister. We'll see.
There's definitely a relation.
So Alan Blumenfield shows up.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he's like, ladies. Oh, another man, another Jew I could talk to. I'm going crazy here.
And John Ritter's just like, okay.
He is so funny. This guy also is in Jingle All the Way. Do you remember what part he's in?
Oh shit, is he really?
Yeah, when Schwarzenegger gets busted when he's beating up all the con men Santas, and he pulls out the badge, and he shows the guy his badge, and he's like, oh, you blew it, you blew my cover or whatever. He's the cop. You know what's the other funny thing about that is I'm scrolling through like what he's been in because I'm like, I know he's been in something else.
He's got to be on like
he was
Goodfellas or The Sopranos.
No, he was in Jason Lives.
Really?
He's one of the guys playing paintball that gets fucking 86 by Jason. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
Gotta
sure is.
picture it if I'm thinking of the right person.
I don't know if he's in the triple decap, but he's definitely there.
He might be. People. Okay, that's kind of amazing. What a through line for that guy. Been killed many different ways.
Oh man, he's getting blown up. He survived the explosion in this movie.
Right,
his eyebrows. Right. One of the best lines of this. Okay, by the way, we're gonna be stopping doing the fucking lines because there's just too many bangers in this. So he comes in. His name's Aaron Berger, and he's talking to John Ritter, and he's like, John Ritter's like, oh, I'm Ben Healy. This is my son Junior, and he just looks at Junior and goes, funny looking kid. Anyway, want to come over for a barbecue?
Oh my god! He's like, so he starts looking at the grill with John Ritter, and he's like still talking shit about Junior for whatever reason. He's like, oh, you got stuck with the kid, and you're divorced.
Ooh, you got the kid, bad deal. Did you get screwed?
There's this great shot, this like over the top shot of Junior with his hair blowing up and shit, and the hand like the Arthur fist.
Well, he talks to the twins, Dolly and Madison.
Oh, does he do that first?
Yeah. And they're like, there's a move-in fee. You have to pay each of us $10. And she's like, pay us or leave. And he's like, whatever.
Yeah, the fucking shining twins.
And he's like, oh, can we leave? These people are dicks. And then Aaron like goes fucking like,
he says
crazy.
something like,
he's like, excuse me, Your Highness.
Oh, and then
let me go slip on my silk tuxedo and trot out the champagne in the escargot. And he's like freaking out. Yeah.
And then John Ritter's like, all right, thanks for staying calm, Junior. And he's like, yeah, no problem, Dad. I'm just going to step over here. He always gets that mischievous look in his eye.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
Kick up the George Thorogood.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of fun, but they make that a little bit of his theme in this one. And the first one, it's just the intro and that hilarious opening.
Yes. Well, it's like his Jaws theme.
Yeah.
You know, when he's about to fucking fuck shit up.
Actually, they might play it twice in the movie because when he throws the presents in the pool, it might be playing it in that scene.
I think
definitely the intro.
No, that's My Party. It's My Party's playing in that scene. But it like the George Thorogood like riff is just the riff.
Yeah,
it's
pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he's like fucking with the grill, and then this guy's like got his head literally in the grill with a match, like, hey, this thing won't light up. Here, let me stick my whole fucking arm in here. And then massive explosion. This guy's set in the air. I mean, you don't see it, you just see him falling into the kiddie pool. Face just totally covered with soot.
There's such a good callback later because his fucking eyebrows are burned off.
Yeah. And he's like,
so it's the first day of school in Mortville. And Junior doesn't want to go. He'd rather eat a turd. He's not going to school.
John Ritter goes full fucking Hulk. Rips his goddamn chair. You're going to go. And he's like, look what you did. Look what you did, Dad.
The third grade is the foundation of a great education, Sean. Pulls him out of the fucking car and just drops him on the ground.
Yep.
It's so funny, man.
John Ritter knows how to work this kid if he has the patience. He doesn't always have the patience, but he's got to figure it out.
No, he just made a scene. He feels, he's a little nervous.
Yeah. So then he goes in and he trots up to fucking principal's office, and we're given Mr. Godfrey's return from the he's like the social worker in the first movie.
Now he's a principal.
And he hates kids. He fucking hates kids. They're just rotten, these little wieners. And he's like, there's one of them now. I gotta hang out. He's like talking to his friend on the phone about how he hates kids.
He goes, I hate kids, and that's why I'm a principal, because I hate children.
I tell them what they do. I put them in a cage.
I say, jump out the window. They say, okay, Mr. Principal, and they jump out the window.
I hate them almost as much as I hate house elves. There's your house elf, and just shoot that son of a bitch right in the fucking face. You know, there's wizards that came over once. They brought over this Dobby character. I was like, what the fuck? This accent really went this shit halfway through that joke. Just gonna point.
Dobby said that.
Yeah.
Dobby's probably under his desk, right? Gilbert's desk, giving him a fucking 1-2.
Yeah, well, he's sharpening pencils and sharpening Gilbert's pencil
Yeah,
at the same time.
that's right. Yeah, he's got to slicking it up.
It's a living. It's better than getting shot in the face by fucking Haggerty.
He just stays, and he's Gilbert Godfrey's sex slave.
Yeah, there's a lot of cum on Gilbert's desk.
Oh my God!
Don't reach for those pencils at the bottom.
My goodness.
But anyway,
yeah.
Junior comes in.
And it's so great because he's like, I gotta deal with one of the little weenies right now. Okay, call you back. And Junior walks in and he just fucking screams. And it's such a great intro to both characters. The way that characters are introduced in this movie are fucking brilliant. And each time a character is introduced, it's like they're shot out of a fucking cannon
they get
into
a little
the screen.
Scene. They get a little scene.
And it's always a banger.
Yep. So that he's like, you're not here. I'm just seeing shit. It must have been my lunch. And then Junior's like, yeah, if I'm not here, how about this? And lets out this massive fart.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're not, that's disgusting. It's getting in my eyes.
I just had a new paint job, too.
Yeah, Junior's cracking up.
You disgusting kid. You disgusting, flagellating kid.
Which he then repeats later. He's like, how long are you going to be here? He's like, 3rd grade.
That
He's
means
like,
you're here for another 4 years.
He's like,
this is a mistake.
You're going to 6. He's like, yeah, but my dad said 3rd grade's the foundation of my education. He's like, your dad's a moron. A moron. You know what a moron is? Your dad's a moron.
Oh, your dad said that.
Yeah.
Your dad's a moron.
And he goes off on him and he pulls the fucking stamp out and he's like, you're in 6th grade. Enjoy. And Junior's like, wow.
Anybody can break wind like that, has to have a mind.
Yeah, exactly. So he trots in.
And then we get James Tolkien, man.
Yeah, the principal from Back to the Future, as I know him.
Yes, he's also in Masters of the Universe.
Oh, is he?
As a principal, I'm pretty sure.
He's got that role on lockdown.
Yeah.
It's like some actors are always cops or army people. He's always some kind of school official.
He's working his way up, He's Mr. Thorne in this movie.
Yes, I mean...
6th grade teacher.
If we want to do a little MDU shit with him, my theory is after Back to the Future, he just couldn't take it anymore. And, Marty fucked with the timeline a little too much.
Oh, you think that's what happened? Yeah.
I think he retired. He retired, from that job at least. But he came back. He was bored at home. He came back. He changed his name just for whatever odd reason, MDU bullshit. And now he's teaching 6th grade, and he's just kind of letting everything go. He was a prick in his old job. Now he's just like, fuck it. I'm collecting a paycheck.
Oh, he's pissed off now. He's like, how many kids are they going to make me teach? Okay, get in there. Hustle, small fry.
Well, we also have this fucking 25-year-old in the class.
Oh, my God, dude. Eric Edwards is
Murph.
He plays Murph. Good old Murph.
This guy looks like a real-life Bart Simpson if he was 200 pounds heavier.
This motherfucker is so funny.
Talk about facial expression. He's another one.
There's just something about him. He's in a National Lampoon Senior Trip.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
He also
one.
plays Pearl in Blade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He ends up embarrassing Murph because he's quizzing everybody and he's like, Polly, what's 17 times 8? 136. And they're doing a whole whatever.
He gives hard multiplication questions. Yeah. He's like, Murph.
What's 2 plus 4? What is it?
Yeah, 2 plus 3. He's like, 9.
4. Picks his nose and shit.
Oh, yeah.
5. The answer's 5.
Right, Junior can't take it anymore. No. So then the teacher...
Nobody's fucking with this kid, by the way.
Well, because they're afraid of him. Because even though he's old as hell, he's like a bully and no one does anything for some reason.
He's like 18.
I mean, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. He's old is the point.
Yeah.
So then the teacher leaves. He's like, I got to get Murph a workbook or something.
Gonna rummage in the old storage closet for something for good old Murph.
Some crayons or something.
Some highlights workbook.
Yeah. Ooh.
Nice.
So Murph, he charges up to Junior's desk and he smashes his lunch. He's like, what do you think this is? He's like, that's my lunch, pea brain.
He's like, what's in the bag? Your diapers?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, kid doesn't know who he's talking to. Yeah. I'm a senior student in this school.
Yeah, which is just a hilarious joke in and of itself. And this guy's just the biggest moron on the planet.
Well, no shit. You've been here since 1970.
Yeah.
So he's chasing Junior, flipping over desks and stuff. Junior ends up like smacking erasers into his face, like into a dust cloud, and somehow tapes this fat man to the fucking chalkboard.
Yeah, they have like they stay on this shot of this tape for like 10
horizontally. Horizontally.
Oh, it's great. And everyone runs out scared, screaming, and the teacher comes back. I got your workbook, Murph. Oh, shit.
The look on James Tolkien's face. He's just like, he's acting so hard in that scene. It's so funny. It just sells it really well.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's just cool shot too. This movie has a lot of really great cinematography in it too.
Yes.
And I love like how it's like right side up and then it spins out and it's like the whole board and stuff. It's really cool.
I like that a lot. And then we go from here. We finally get introduced to LaWanda. We get her intro where she's like stomping around in her fucking. She's like a banker or something.
Dude, this is Mrs. Deagle's niece from Gremlins.
Oh God, yeah.
She doesn't
have one of those chairs though.
Yeah. So Smith comes up, played by Paul Wilson, by the way.
Yes.
Which
another that guy.
Which side note, I watched the Devonsville Terror for the first time not too long ago. I think I'm pretty sure Vincent put that out. Vinegar Syndrome, and he's in it, and he like plays this like weird dramatic role in it. So it was weird to see him like that. But he also plays violin in that movie too, which we'll get to later.
Okay. I guess that was the thing he did.
I was like, is that like on your resume?
Side?
Like on your resume, you just put that in there?
I do violin if you need it in your film.
Very good actor because he's very funny in this movie, but he's also very serious and dramatic in the other one.
He's from Office Space also. He plays one of the Bobs.
Yes.
And I was like trying to place it throughout the whole movie, and I finally looked at him. I was like, oh, no shit.
Yeah. So LaWanda DuMore is Lorraine Newman.
Yes. Another hilarious actress.
And I just want to throw this out there. She's fucking great. She's so funny. And I'm pretty sure she's in Jingle All the Way. She's the president's wife in the commercial in the beginning with
the actual show.
MDU icon Richard Mole.
Right, yeah, he's the actual not Mega Mind. The fuck is it? Dementor.
Yeah, but she's there, and she was in that. It's just funny to see her there. She's also in one of my favorite episodes of Monsters.
Oh.
Which is Rouse Him Not, which also has, excuse me, I forgot his name, but the bad guy from the Uninvited.
Oh wow, really?
The guy with the mustache, the guy who owns the boat.
Okay.
He's like a monster slayer. We'll get to it.
He couldn't slay that fucking cat.
No, he cannot. He could not. But we will get to it in Monsters.
I also did see that she has voice acted a ton of shit, but did not really write anything down.
Right.
But yeah, she kind of comes in and she's like, oh, yeah, they didn't pay their loan. Yeah, kick them out. And her assistant's like, yeah, it's a fucking church.
It's a nursing home.
Nursing home, yeah.
Toss him in the street.
Yeah. And she just happens to see John Ritter down there.
Who is that beefcake?
Oh, my God. He wants to open a loan or get a loan to start his own business.
He wants to give back to the community.
Right.
We don't find out what he wants to do. But
they kind of drop that plot point. It just kind of becomes a mute point.
Yeah.
But she's like, I got to marry that man. He's so handsome. He'll be my sixth husband.
I think I found myself hubby number 7.
And they show all the pictures of her previous husbands, and it's just John Ritter in different like costumes, like a hippie and shit.
That's fucking great, though.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Which, again, they do that joke with, I guess it's not really a joke, but I guess it's a kind of a meta thing with Amy Yasbeck also, where it's just actually John Ritter's real life wife is just one of his love interests again.
Right. So we all, just real quick with LaWanda too, like her motif is red.
Red, yes.
So everything is red. But again, that primary color is coming right through.
True, and also part of the reason why I wore this shirt, also has movie dumpster shirt,
well,
because of the blue. Because in the first movie, John Ritter makes a point that blue is my favorite color, and when he moves into the new house, everything's blue.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. Yes, that's important.
Yeah. We got some anaglyphic shit going on right now.
A little bit, yeah.
Are we in 3D? Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe one day if we ever do Jason.
Don't spoil that. So John Ritter goes to pick up Junior from school, and this has to be like a Stay Tuned throwback joke.
Oh, right, yeah, because we were talking about that, I think, on the Stepfather 3 episode.
Because Murph is on the roof of the building, and he's trying to hit Junior with a fucking satellite dish. And
he's like the Good Burger ending with the Mondo Burger falling in Sinbad's car, talking about Dementor.
Pushes it off, and it fucking falls on John Ritter's head. His head goes right through the screening of the satellite,
like Wile E. Coyote.
So here's my thing.
Sure,
I'm convinced, or this makes sense.
Okay.
After John Ritter gets hit with that satellite dish, the rest of this movie is a dream. It's all in his head. Okay?
Okay.
He wakes up after being in a coma for however many years. Junior has gone to another... He had to go back to the orphanage. He's gone.
Right. That's why they had to get different actors for the third one.
Right. John Ritter starts his life over again. He becomes obsessed with TV because he was hit in the head with a satellite dish. We don't know why. Exactly.
Something cracked in his head.
You know, Priscilla Barnes has David Tom, and he ends up adopting David Tom from Stay Tuned.
Right.
Yeah. So now he lives there, and then he has to go fight Jeffrey Jones in the Hell TV world. And that's how that all happens. You know, that's the branch timeline for Problem Child 2.
Yeah, branched is key.
Yes.
Key. Because in the dream world, which is the rest of the film,
he wakes up in Amy Yasbeck's nursing office.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, "Who are you?" She's like, "Oh, I'm Annie Young." And like we already said, it's Amy Yasbeck again.
But she's a brunette. She's
Right.
got these big, thick rimmed glasses on. She's super fucking cute.
And Junior's like, "All right, Dad, it's ready to go." And he's like, "I need a little extra time." Junior's like, "I ain't been here an hour."
I think between Amy Yasbeck in this movie and Annie Potts in Ghostbusters 2, I think that's where my thing came from. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, oh,
The big glasses.
the big glasses and it's a whole thing.
Okay.
So they're outside the Junior's waiting for Dad to fucking. He just got hit with a satellite dish.
And he's getting checked on by
And
the
he's getting
school
checked out
nurse,
by the
not an
school
actual
nurse.
hospital.
He's like fumbling around and like kind of flirting or whatever. So
Yeah.
he goes outside and he's waiting out in the waiting room, and Trixie comes, and Michael Oliver's about to draw a mustache on her picture, and Trixie comes up. She's like, "I wouldn't do that if I were you."
He's like, "I wouldn't do a lot of things if I were you."
Like go out in public.
Yeah.
She fucking pulls a rug out from under him.
Oh, yeah.
Judo throws him across the fucking room and then draws a mustache on his face with the magic marker.
And he's just like, "Oh."
Next time you'll listen to me.
Well, yeah, she runs this place, Joe, as we'll find out shortly.
Trixie don't fuck around, dude. We get this quick scene of like LaWanda like going through Ben's records.
Yeah, his personal files
And
from when he signed
so-
up for the loan, I guess.
So if you haven't seen the first movie, this is kind of like your
catch up.
your catch up, because LaWanda's like, "What is this thing?" And he goes, Smith's like, "That's his son, ma'am."
That's Junior.
So she's like, it's like, convicted killer and boy go on joyride, baseball team hospitalized, Union Carbide plant explodes.
All happens in the first one.
It's so great because like he is the menace to the first movie, with the exception of Michael Richards, but that's not till like later in the film.
Yeah.
So you kind of now you have two threats going on here. You have another problem child. You have problem child 2 TM, TOO.
That's Trixie.
That's Trixie, and then you have LaWanda, who's like also like the adult bad guy.
Not a murderer, but it's still, yeah,
Not a murderer,
problem.
but a pain in the ass problem, a home wrecker, if you will. Sort of,
The
kind
antagonist.
of. She's the antagonist. Big Ben's kind of a periphery one, but yeah.
He's just kind of there to stir the fucking pot.
Yeah. He's an antagonist.
In fact, speaking of Big Ben, he might be showing up right now.
Big Ben, that's my name. This is the funniest fucking thing for me, okay? Jack Warden as Big Ben, he fucking every time he's on screen, he fucking kills me. Even in the first movie, he just chews it up, especially when he does bits with Junior. But there's a commercial of him, and he's like,
oh yeah, right.
And he's like, "You want to buy Big Ben, or you want a franchise? I'm the biggest sports equipment supplier in America," or some shit like that.
Right, yeah.
He's in like a hot tub and shit.
That's what he did in the first movie,
Yeah.
but then he was like also trying to run for mayor or some shit, and he mooned like the audience
They
of a
can
news
kiss
report.
my ass, yeah.
Because John Ritter and him getting in an argument, and John Ritter like flips on the camera.
The camera,
It's
yeah.
great.
It's fucking great. So what he's doing basically is like selling these franchise starter kits for like $300, and it's like a fucking clearly a scam.
Well, he only sold one, Joe.
We'll get to it because that is one of the best callbacks of the fucking film.
But yeah, before Grandpa gets there, I did forget he goes on that date with that cherry pie woman, the cherry pie that made them like shit themselves.
The pie gave us the runs. Debbie
Yeah.
Clark Kinski and Rhoda shows up, his babysitter.
Right, Rhoda, and he's not happy about
No.
that. And she's just watching this like weird pig video the entire time.
The wonderful world of pigs.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Hungry, always horny, and she's like stuffing her
Well,
fucking face.
That's the joke.
I know it's the joke, but it's just funny.
And Junior keeps trying to put this like boxing match on. She's like, "Turn this off."
No, he puts on fucking Leave It to Beaver.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, my bad.
yeah.
You know what? Grandpa's watching boxing later. That's what I'm
Grandpa,
thinking of.
stick him. Yeah, later
Yeah.
he's doing it.
But yeah, so he's on the date, and Junior's pissed, so he calls this fucking woman's
I
ex-husband.
wonder whatever happened to Mr. Clark Kinski. And then he dials the MDU hotline, of course.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be seeing that clip shortly.
Yeah.
Might be seeing it right now.
Yeah. You're definitely going to see it soon.
But yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, I happen to know that someone's out on a date with your wife and having fun at your expense." He's like, "What?
Who
the
is
hell?"
this? The fucking banger of that scene, though, is he's eating the dog food that's introduced in the movie called Chow Down, and it's like a whole like subplot.
He's gonna have bad bowel movement later.
And then in the back of him is that one Big Ben starter kit, which is such a fucking banger of a joke because you really need to watch this movie a couple times and be like, oh, there it is.
Right,
and then later Big Ben's like, hell, I only sold one starter kit.
Or remember that he said it, one or the other,
It's fucking great.
And then, this guy, all pissed off, basically was like, I'll show them. Yeah. And then cut to John Ritter and this woman at this fucking restaurant.
Zach Grenier? I think, or Grenay, however you say it, whatever. He's the guy from Tommy Boy who, when they're at the wedding and David Spade's filming him, and he's like, way to go, Tom. What I'd like to get a piece of that.
Oh, my God.
And he's like, it'll cost you. He's like, give me that. You got an edit button on that, you little prick?
Oh, my God.
Anyway, same guy. But he's got a Russian accent in this.
Yes. So he shows up to the restaurant and you just hear like the commotion in the background. Sir, you can't go in there. And he comes in literally what he was wearing when he answered the fucking robe. He's got a frying pan in his hand.
He's got a lead pipe in a
lead pipe. Yeah.
He's got a lead pipe. He's got like the fucking Ghostbuster pajamas and like some kind of Kurt Cobain jacket.
Oh yeah.
With like the fur.
Yeah.
Let me in here, you fool.
Just fucking hits John Ritter and the Mater D in the head with a fucking pipe.
Debbie, you tramp.
And then, like, John Ritter goes up and, like, he's like, like, trying to defend himself and, like, hits the guy.
He takes the pipe and, like, smashes it into his stomach and he's like, oh, my kidney.
Yeah, exactly. And then the woman's, like, punching John Ritter, like, how dare you, you animal.
You bully.
I'm like, what the fuck? And John Ritter's, like, perplexed beyond, he doesn't even know what the hell's happening.
It's great. It's great.
So then he, like, rushes home. And in the meantime, this fucking babysitter has her boyfriend show up, and Junior's like, what the hell's going on?
This ain't no motel.
Yeah. Going on John Ritter's bed, for fuck's sakes.
Oh, my God. So as they go in the room, there's like a big box of video equipment, and we cut to outside. So John Ritter's driving Debbie and her ex-husband home in the fucking in the passenger seat, and they're like fucking in the side seat.
Yeah, they're making out.
You were always the best.
And he's just like,
yeah. So
he sees all these cars parked in front of his house.
Yeah, Aaron's like outside with like the bowling team eating pizza, watching the babysitter fuck her boyfriend on like projected on the house.
Yeah, it's like he's still going.
You go for it.
And John Ritter fucking runs into the house.
Meanwhile, Debbie Cluckins is fucking in his front seat.
Yeah,
and there's people fucking on the front of his. People are fucking in his bed. Everybody's getting their dicks and pussies wet except for John Ritter.
Yeah, even he had to wash the bed sheets, get the cum of someone else's cum off his own bed sheets. He had to wash that shit. But Junior's out there with the popcorn. He's loving it.
I didn't do it. I just watched it.
Yeah.
So did the entire neighborhood.
Yeah, John Ritter's chewing him out a new one.
Yeah.
And this is where John Ritter kind of has a moment with I was called JR with Junior. Yeah. Because there's that joke in the first one where Kramer thinks his name is JR. But anyway.
Right.
Where he's like, yeah,
good old JR.
Yeah, exactly. But he's like, Junior, you really lost my trust tonight. Like, what the hell? And he's like, we really got to like fix this.
There's a lot of those. So there are.
And that happens a decent amount, but this is like one of the key ones.
Well, yes. But that happens a little bit later after the crazy dance thing at Carnival.
Okay,
yeah, well, no, you're good. But like it's a lot. At that point, it's gone way too far.
True.
But before that happens, there's a knock at the door. The evening that wouldn't die, Sean.
Oh, right. Yeah, here's Grandpa.
So they open the door and Big Ben's there. And he's like, hey, how you doing? I'm here on my vacation. And he's like, excuse me?
Right. Then he changed it to, actually, I'm broken. There's people after me.
But that punchline is so good because he's like, wait, what do you this doesn't make any sense. He's like, yeah, but if you were going on vacation, you certainly wouldn't spend it with me. And he's like, little Ben, you're my only son. Dad, you hate me.
Right, well, the first
All right, you figured me out.
Yeah, exactly. The first movie, that's like a huge plot point.
Chapter 11, the whole thing was a big ripoff. We just saw you on TV, and he's like, oh, it was a scam. Yeah. I got to hide out for a while because the fucking people are after me. I owe like crazy amounts of money. It's such a great way to get him back in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so funny. Like
and he's got the dog, Nippy.
Yeah, Nippy, yeah.
He's biting the shit out of Junior's leg. He's like, what the hell's with this dog?
Then he's like rooming with Junior in his room. He's
I
like,
get the top bunk.
I get the top bunk.
Also, Junior's fucking bed that looks like a goddamn like steel battalion machine.
Right.
His fucking spaceship thing.
He has like a spaceship arcade like built into it, which is
it's
really
like
awesome.
a blank check, man.
Fucking Big Ben like smashes like a Lego thing with like his suitcase and Nippy pisses on it, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah. Then at night we get this whole
the sock in the mouth.
Yeah, the sleeping scene. And the dog's chewing on a sock, and Grandpa won't stop snoring. So Junior picks it up and shoves it in his mouth. But that doesn't work. This fucking sock shoots out of his mouth.
It rockets out of his mouth, and the sound always cracks me up.
Yeah, it's like I can't even do it.
He ends up like pulling him off the bed, and he falls off the fucking top bunk.
Yeah.
That old man is dead. He's breaking his hip or some shit.
Junior, what'd you do to Grandpa? You killed him.
Fucking throws him out a window later.
Yes, he does.
So we're back at school. Mr. Thorne is talking about, he's showing them slides about Mortville and the town and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And we get a slide of the Love Rock.
Right.
And it's got magic powers. What kind of magic you say, Sean? I don't know. Love magic, I guess.
Yeah.
At least that's what they tell the tourists.
Right, the Native Americans created it or something. We don't really make it clear.
Well, the DuMore family stole it from the Native Americans.
Which, also a weird thing they just sneak in there. I'm like, all right, well, I guess, yeah, they probably did steal it. But anyway, we're going to go back there later.
But it's kind of a fun callback, too, because, like, the DuMores clearly own the fucking...
Oh, yeah, well,
Mortville.
right, yeah. Duh.
Yeah.
Because they have like 4 different businesses. She's rattling off at one point.
DuMore banks, pharmaceuticals, and strip mining.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they're rolling in the dough. So Trixie comes in and like taunts him, and then he chases her out, and they have this altercation again because they're always like at odds with each other. They're going tit for tat with each other, and she gets him so fucking good in this one.
Before she does that, she's like, "Hey, Pumpkinhead!" Yeah. He's like, "Huh?" Turns around and this fucking fire hose, for fuck's sakes, blasts him like fucking Spanky in the Little Rat or Melissa McCarthy in Ghostbusters 2016 across this goddamn school.
He gets fucking geysered through the door.
Ah! It's hilarious.
It's so good.
And Trixie's like, heh, heh, heh.
Back in the fucking nurse's office, man.
She's like, I run this school. Yeah, right. He's back at the nurse's office, and he's like, I don't know what happened. I was trying to put out a fire. He's trying to like look cool, so it doesn't look like he like
got
chumped again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like then John Ritter's trying to hit on Amy Yasbeck again, and trying to take her out, and he's like, no, I can't go out any night. I got a problem.
Right.
She's got a problem. Let's get the fuck out of here, Dad.
Exactly. We don't know the problem yet. We might have some ideas, but we don't know yet.
You can kind of put 2 and 2 together at this point. But this movie has a lot of just like inserted
It
scenes.
is a little bit one of those, but I don't mind it.
No, I don't mind it at all. I think it feels organic enough, but like there is bits that just chain the story together. You know what I mean? And this is the lemonade scene.
Oh god, this scene's fucking hilarious.
This is a fucking classic scene from this. There's this and one other scene that if you've seen Problem Child 2 at least once, these are the ones you remember. This is the first one.
So you have the twins from earlier.
Which, by the way, I didn't bring it up before.
Oh.
I used to rent this movie from a video store called Primetime Video in Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
Okay.
And on the wall, they had an autographed photo of these twins. And I remember that. I never found out why or how they knew them or whatever, or where they got it from. But like, I always remember, I always saw it there. So there you go.
That's kind of cool.
A little aside.
So Junior doesn't have enough money for the lemonade. So they're giving him shit. They're like, well, if you go fill it up, we'll give you $1. I think
a free glass.
A free glass. Okay. Why you'd ever ask this kid to do anything, especially after they blew up your dad. He blew up your dad's grill.
They don't know that for sure, though. They can't prove it.
So Dad's over there working on his car, like kind of, sweating up a storm in the heat. And Junior, he pulls down his pants. You know what's coming. Everyone watching the movie knows what he's going to do, except for these fucking twins.
This fucking piss montage is so funny, dude, because it's just like...
It's like Austin Powers, man.
You just like hear him pissing, and it's just like shots of like kids fishing and hula hooping.
Woman on like a boat.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. I was kind of surprised he didn't fill that up more, but he is a little kid, so...
well, this is also true. That's a big jug he's got there.
The full bladder. He walks it up. They're like, hey, you didn't even fill it up all the way. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it.
I tried my best. And she's like, well, just for that, it's not good enough, so you don't get a free glass. He's like, that's fine.
Yeah. Dad walks up. Hey, how you doing, girls? Hey, okay, $1. And he's like, $1.
Hold on,
son of a bitch.
It was $2 for glass for me. That's one of my favorite lines of the That's one of my favorites.
He's begrudgingly getting the money out for his own fucking kids.
Freaking brats. Gives him the $2. Gets a fucking tall, cold glass of piss.
Yeah, and that looks like piss. I mean, there is a shot when he first brings it out where they didn't match it as good, but when they get the close-up, that looks like piss. And he drinks it, and he's like, not bad, kind of tangy.
He goes, tangy.
Yeah, which reminds me, way more recent, but Tim and Eric did an episode once, and they had the whole, house party because they got snowed in on an episode, and one of their actors/characters, Ben-Hur, finds someone has a piss jar. I forget if it's Tim or Eric or one of their cast members.
Yeah.
Ben-Hur finds his piss jar and is drinking it at the party and kind of puts it down and looks at it and goes, and keeps drinking and is dancing. So I thought of that instantly. Or Little Monsters, another one.
Oh,
that comes to mind.
He put piss in his apple juice. Yeah. But that's like monster piss. We're going to talk about the monster piss when we get to that.
We'll get there
episode.
eventually, but it's just a funny little gag. Bathroom humor never gets old.
Oh, the toilet humor's that's what this movie is.
So we have this second date scene, and Grandpa's the babysitter this time.
This is the chick who brought him the muffins.
Right.
You're even better looking up close.
Well, she walks up.
She's stuffing her fucking bra
with
the toilet or the tissues.
Well, we have this whole fucking talk about montage scene. We have a whole montage of Junior creating this fucking Kevin McAllister on fucking acid device on the wall while John Ritter's getting ready for his date.
Playing Get Ready, Here I Come. Get ready, because here I come.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
So this woman steps on this wet floor mat and rings his doorbell, and she gets totally fucking marved.
She did.
You just see the explosions going off out the window. You don't actually see it, going on. Yeah. And John Ritter's like, what the hell's going on out there?
He opens the fucking door, and she is just Tex Avery electrocuted with her hair shot back. She goes, Ben! And smoke comes out of her mouth.
She's like, I got the
flu that's been going around. Okay.
He's like, shit. She walks away and just fucking collapses.
Falls. One of the best gags of that, though, are the tissues are all burnt up, in her bra.
A lot of good visual gags in this film. I don't know if I said that already.
So the little munch just screwed you over again.
Yeah, Dad gets it. Grandpa gets it.
Yeah.
And John Ritter's just like, I don't know. People said he was a problem child, but I think he just needed a little love.
It's the whole thing of
and Junior's listening. He's like, yeah, Dad gets it now.
Well, if Junior, he wants to spend more time, Junior wants him to spend more time with him,
right.
But it's also the thing of Junior's afraid that if someone comes in like a wife or a mom or whatever, he's going to take Ben away from him. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the antithesis of that.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah. That's why he's acting out.
Yep.
Not because he hates these women, it's because he's just he doesn't
want to... He's a little bit...
He's
the problem child.
Well, yeah, he's the problem child, but I'm saying he's afraid of being neglected.
Oh yeah.
Again,
that was
because he's got this thing. He's got this love from this dad that he's not going to give away. You know what I mean? He's going to hold on to it real tight.
That was the major plot point in one. Which I used to brought back 30 times and all that. So yeah.
Well, that's where the bond begins, and now the bond he doesn't want to have that broken. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to leave him. So we get another Trixie scene in the school, and right when he walks through the fucking door, he's got his lunch and everything, and she taunts him, and he drops all his shit, and he chases her into the bathroom.
Oh God, yeah.
And he finds her. And he's like, why you been bugging me? And she's like, I can bug whoever I want. This is my school.
Right, that's when she says that, yeah.
Says who? Me and my M80. So she lights up a fucking giant half stick of dynamite and they flush it down the toilet.
Oh
Meanwhile,
my God.
James Talkin's running through the hallways because he's got a shit real bad. And he's like, oh, this one can't wait till recess.
This is a damn enchiladas, Joe.
Yeah. Well, see what happens here. He gets to the toilet and then all at once, it's Troy and the Goonies, it's Juice and the Garbage Pail Kids, and it's Mr. Thorne and Prom Child 2. They all sit on the toilet, and their ass gets exploded off the toilet
to varying degrees of injury.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because this man's wearing a fucking diaper later in the film. It was that bad. I don't know why that would solve the problem. Should probably be on bed rest, but it's a good visual gag again.
That man doesn't have a colon anymore.
I know. That's why his asshole got blown up. Now he needs to wear that, or else the poop is on the floor or in his pants.
It looks like a Tex Avery cartoon with a fucking blown out burnt paper bag.
Yeah.
The thing goes up his ass and explodes off the toilet.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
He's like,
Well, yeah, right. He sits down right as it happens.
Again, this is another fun little tidbit before we get to the big carnival scene, which is the other scene that everybody knows from this movie. But I want to talk about this one because it is funny because Junior sells all of Big Ben's clothes to the twins next door for $10.
He comes up, he goes, a suit for a dime?
A silk shirt for a dime and a suit for a quarter.
Yeah.
You know, I had this one just like it. I paid $2,000 for it.
Oh my God. They even have
Opens
the
it up, the button's still inside.
Oh, yeah.
Vote for Big Ben.
Even the dog's there selling for a nickel. Like, you're selling Nippy for a nickel. It's like, these are all mine. Like, Junior sold it to us wholesale for $10.
We have wholesalers.
Yeah.
So he goes in to go whip his ass.
Oh, with a belt and everything.
With like a belt and everything, and he like pulls out, and Junior pulls out like nunchucks, and Big Ben goes after him, and he ends up just like moving out of the way, and fucking Big Ben flies out the window onto a tree branch.
Yeah, and he's like hanging there for like a while.
And he just closes the window.
And John Ritter's like, I don't know where my dad's been. Oh, I don't know.
Last time I saw him, he was going out.
Yeah, and this is where they start their father-son day.
They go to like a water park, and they go to like a baseball game and stuff, and they end up at this carnival. LaWanda comes in the interim and like redoes the entire house.
Oh, right, yeah.
While they're away.
While they're at this carnival of hell.
Yeah.
From hell. For everybody except for Junior, I guess.
So Junior can't ride the fucking crazy dance
Dude, it's
ride.
like this much, but
it's only a millimeter.
It's worth it for this scene.
Murph comes over.
Why are you picking on a 7-year-old, by the way? 8-year-old, whatever.
Scumbag. He goes, what's the matter? Afraid to go pee-pee in your diapers?
He's even like,
and then he like does this like twist back kick and
it's a
kicks
roundhouse kick.
He fucking roundhouse kicks this octopus's head off that like, you know, you got to be as tall as the tentacle kind of thing.
And the guy working the ride's just like, hey, stop that.
You
All right,
creep.
get on. And then Trixie comes up. This is fucking hilarious because earlier, Junior keeps calling her short, tiny, and everything. She's like, hey, shrimp, hate to be your shrimpo. And she walks up, and he's like, what the hell? She lifts her fucking dress up. She's got these massive fucking...
She's got 20-inch platform shoes.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's great. So they all go on the ride, the crazy dance ride, and wouldn't you know it, Junior's not having it. So he like shuts off the safety on the fucking thing and cranks the speed all the way to like the top gear.
Doesn't need a key or anything for that.
No, sure doesn't. Everything's open and well lit with LEDs.
Clearly marked.
Yes.
And also, thank God John Ritter walked away to get a candy apple.
Would you like a candy apple? Go fuck that shit up over there.
Yeah, which he does. And, you know, it's kind of funny too. I mean, this whole scene's fucking hilarious. But like as it's ramping up, you even have like Murph's like on the ride. It's one of those like spinny rides.
They like
move and spin.
They spin like there's a bigger thing that spins, and then you your individual seat spins.
If you've been to an amusement park, you've probably ridden or at least seen it.
It's like a teacup or an octopus ride.
Exactly. Yeah. But even Murph's like, oh yeah,
pump it up, pump it up, pump it up, pump it up.
And Trixie's like, woo, this is great. And then, you know, as he's turning up the fucking dial, you're even getting a little dizzy watching if you're not keen to that kind of stuff.
The way that this is shot is fucking like, like for sure.
It gets the effect across very easily because they're just moving so fast. Trixie's like, I'm gonna puke.
I'm gonna barf. There's like a bunch of other people on the ride too, and they're like, and then the juice lets loose, dude.
Oh man, first Murph gets hit right in the face by Trixie's first
Trixie
barf.
fucking throws up. The other little kid with the glasses throws up on him.
Yeah, the kid from fucking Monster Squad, obviously. That's Horace there.
No, Horace is there.
He's there. He's puking all over Murph.
And then Murph looking like a big fucking
he's just like
piece of fruit striped gum covered in fucking oatmeal. Just lets this motherfucking
it's like a cannon,
dude. It is. I can't. It looks like fucking. I don't even know what this thick
geyser,
geyser of throw
it's
up.
Like Clayface came out of his mouth.
This is just one of the most incredible scenes in cinematic history.
I mean, it's disgusting, but it is just like for the next 30 to 60 seconds, there's people getting puked on, slipping on puke.
This is a solid 2 minutes.
Yeah, I guess overall
of people throwing up on each other. Getting thrown up on.
There's
like kids. There's like a couple throwing up on their kid. Uncle Sam's there. He's throwing up.
Yeah.
And then he goes and he walks off with the stilts and goes peeping after the puke session.
Exactly. Even the ride operator gets nailed a bunch.
He gets fucking nailed. The guy with the ticket guy's throwing up.
And John Ritter's just off to the side with this candy apple, like, oh god,
This is the story that Chunk tells the Fratellis.
Oh.
And then this was horrible. Everybody started throwing up.
Exactly. Junior was there, obviously. A Chunk was in the line getting nailed. Exactly.
Yeah, so everybody just gets fucking thrown up on it, and that's the scene. It's glorious.
Yeah. And then I guess, they go home after this fucking shit.
Now, this is what you were talking about before when they're in the car. Now, this is the more heartfelt scene. Because,
right, yeah, when they're driving home.
Now, this is a prank that could have killed these people.
Yeah, I mean, the ride eventually just fizzles out. That's
I know, but it could have, like, short-circuited and exploded, or people could have been thrown out and killed or something. this is a mass chaos situation that he just caused.
Right.
This chain reaction of disgusting bodily fluid events.
Yeah.
And John Ritter's like, this is it. This is the last straw. And he's like, I can't trust you with anything. This is where, like,
you've broken my trust.
Yeah, he's broken his trust. And this is the point where Junior really needs to earn it back. And, like, it's going to be super tough to do that. And Ben kind of tells him, like, you can't just agree and be like, and just promise me everything's going to be okay. Like, you really got to mean it and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, start being a good kid. And he's like, just because I go out on dates with people doesn't mean that I love you any less. Like, can't you see that I'm doing that? Like, we went out today, we had a good time. That's not going to change.
Right.
You know?
And unfortunately, he agrees to this before meeting LaWanda, because when they get home, their whole fucking house has been redecorated.
Oh my God. We're going to talk about that in a second, but let's take a break real quick.
And now, these messages.
Do you like to be scared? Do you like to get high and laugh at dumb shit?
Hey, you guys hear that?
Then come on down. No, I'm not gonna. Then come on down.
Gore Club! This is the Gore Club Podcast with Steve Vessel, Ace, and Jeff's Metal Dave. Hello?
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to our Movie Dumpster Hotline segment, where we take some of your voicemails on the old answer machine here, the old best of the old standby, and some of your emails that you might have sent us.
Right. Or, you can send it by snail mail. P.O. Box is in the description. Or Joe, give it to us now.
Oh, yeah, you can send that snail mail to Movie Dumpster, P.O. Box 918 in Bangor, PA 18013. Or, of course, you can call us and leave us a voicemail at the Movie Dumpster hotline at 740-688-DUMP. Or for those of you who can't see it on the screen, it's 740-688-3867.
All right, that's how you get the dump. Those last four numbers are important.
But yeah, so with that being said, let's take our first call. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Hey, Sean and Joe, it's Ryan, a.k.a. Run on the Shade. Just wanted to say a couple nice things about Movie Dumpster Podcast real quick. You guys have a great passion for movies, and it really shows, the good, the bad, stinkers, and the forgotten gems. And the fact that, you have such a passion for this kind of stuff, it really is infectious and fun. And yeah, I just, really appreciate you guys putting out the videos and the behind the scenes content and the podcast, and just a lot of fun. And, it's cool to be a fan of the Movie Dumpster, to be a dumpster dweller. So yeah, just, keep up the good work. All right. Bye.
Well, thank you, Ryan, a.k.a. Renan, our longtime fan now.
Yeah,
that was very nice of you.
Thank you so much, dude. That was really sweet of you to call in and just say all those nice things. I don't take compliments well.
I try to take them well.
I try to take them well. I'm getting better, but
it does mean a lot.
It really does mean a lot. And Ryan's been listening for a long time, and he's always sending us cool stuff.
He even actually did a drawing of us as furries once. Actually,
he definitely did.
Pretty awesome. Actually,
two dogs in the proverbial.
I was a cat. I was a black cat.
Oh, you were a cat,
yes.
were you?
After my cat Lily, I think I specifically asked him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And, he's also sent us over the years. He's many different little memorabilia on our junk mail series.
Yes.
Jeff the Rat, of course.
Oh, yes, they're right. The kind of a big rat.
Yeah, exactly. And recently a Cumdar statue that he created himself for us. So I honestly want to say thank you, Ryan. You've heard it many times on the Patreon and over different messagings, but now you get it in the live show version. And yeah, don't want to sound like a broken record, but we do really appreciate it, man.
But yeah, thank you so much, Ryan. That was really sweet. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate the support. But yeah, let's take another one. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, Joe and Sean, it's Johnny. I had a question for you guys. When you get low, what is that one thing that really boosts your mood? Thanks, guys. Really appreciate the podcast and everything you do.
I can answer that easily. I play a video game. That's kind of my outlet to relieve stress and just honestly whenever. But yeah, that's kind of my go-to.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks, Johnny, for calling in.
Oh yeah, duh. Sorry, Johnny. Yeah, thank you. Of course.
I think that was Johnny Blue.
I think so. Yeah. It sounded like him.
Yeah, it could have been. He sounded like a blue, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Deep shining.
I kind of jumped right into the question, but
You're
yeah,
totally good.
That's my answer.
Video games, huh?
Yeah.
I would say definitely. I mean, movies. I
well,
look the fuck
sure.
around. But mostly like super like comfy movies, like
Like hone in on it a little.
yeah. And Alf.
Alf, yeah, you're always a big Alf. You always
I know
go
it
back
sounds
to him.
ridiculous, but like that shit always like calms you down. Like if
Sure.
I'm having a bad day, before I'll go to bed, I'll put that on because I like to watch stuff before bed. I know you're really not supposed to do that, but
Whatever works.
It settles my brain.
Sure.
Like I focus on what's going on in the TV show, and I like picture myself watching it, and then I go to sleep. Anyway, Alf is a very comfy show for me, or something like Troll or something like that. I would put on
Harry Potter.
Well, yeah.
I meant the character.
The
I mean,
original,
the movie,
Harry
maybe.
Potter.
I guess just like you're honing in a little. I mean, if I'm saying video games, but I guess if I had to get more specific, Skyrim's always one I always return to.
There you go. Yeah.
Just whenever I just don't have anything else to play, and I'm like, man, let's get back into fucking Tamriel, guys. I guess that's a more specific example, but yeah. Those cozy games and movies for sure.
Yeah, anything. Usually it's stuff from my childhood, like kids' movies that I watched when I was a kid.
Munchie, of course.
I was gonna say Munchie, or like The Mouse and the Motorcycle is a big one for me too. That just like kind of just relaxes me. Or Milo and Otis was a good one.
I don't know, Milo and Otis.
Milo and Otis is, well, I'm sure we're gonna get shit for it, but like it's the one with the cat and the dog, the pug.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of like fucked up shit that happened to the animals in that movie, but like I still like that movie.
Sure.
Yeah, it's good. It's cozy. So yeah, we unwinding with a movie, unwinding with a show, and then food is always so comforting too.
Sure.
You know what? Now that we're talking about it, cooking.
Oh yeah, you love to cook.
I do love to cook. I'm not like a chef or anything like
Sure.
that, but it makes me feel good to cook. It takes my mind off of whatever's going on, and I can focus on something that's not behind a fucking computer or on a screen somewhere. It's right in front of me.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give even a second. Speaking of another thing, that you said that. Honestly, like editing. Sounds kind of crazy because I do it for my main job and then for the show, and sometimes it does get exhausting to always be on the same program on the same screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes when you're just in a certain mode or a mood and maybe something's not clicking in my life, but something's always clicking while I'm editing. I can always make that kind of work.
Well, you're kind of in control of your own little
yeah.
world.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's part of it.
I
But,
think that's a good
it's
point.
a very personal answer, I guess. Not
Yeah.
that those all weren't, but I
Yeah.
guess that's another answer for you there,
I think
Johnny.
I think it's a good answer for sure. So yeah, thanks, Johnny, for calling in, and hope that helps you, and maybe try some of those things.
All right, let's hear another one.
Yeah, here we go. Let's do it.
Hey guys, my name is John. I'm calling from Ohio. I just heard you guys got a voicemail and just want to call and just say thank you for like everything you guys do. Like I'm a fucking weirdo like you guys. I love modern horror, of course, but I also love all the weird shit. And you guys have really like shown me a bunch of cool shit, and I have like 6,000 fucking movies, but somehow I still can't watch them all. But Kolobos, whatever the hell it's called, it's one of my personal favorites you guys did. So, all right, I won't ramble anymore, and just thank you guys seriously. All right, have a good one.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, we're glad. That's kind of the point of the show, is to show you things that you haven't seen or maybe something that might interest you that you didn't even know existed. And again, like I have the same.
I'm looking on the shelf. I know it's over here.
It's right in front of you, right there. Up top, to the right, down, right there.
Here it is.
There it is.
For reference.
Oh my God! Don't drop the tape.
But yeah, no, that was a fun one. We actually did that with our friend Justin Esquivel from Epic Film Guys.
Yeah, that was a great one.
That was a fun episode, and yeah, that's a weird movie.
Man, it's one of those.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, it's one of those like lost. I think I told the story on the episode, but like I found that at like a path mark.
Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, you go into it on
I go into it on that episode, but like that's how I found it. It was like paired with with another. No, it was an individual movie, and then I bought it later on DVD paired with this movie called Tail Sting, which might be a fun one. It's about giant scorpions on a fucking plane.
Predating the Sam Jackson movie.
Predating the Sam Jackson movie. But yeah, I always have the same problem. Like, he's, John said he had 6,000 movies and he's still
yeah.
finding shit. Like, there's just not enough time in the fucking world to watch all the good shit that's out there. So, I mean, again,
you
like,
could sit on Tubi, honestly, and just fucking never end. You would never make it to the end of it.
the asterisk there is that you have to go through all the bullshit to get to the good stuff.
True.
So that's why, that's what we try to do on this show anyway, is kind of pick the shit out of the trash that people might have thrown away. They throwing the baby out with the bathwater, if you will. But picking those gems and showing them to you guys, and I'm glad you found Kolobos and some other stuff. So that's fucking cool. And they don't get any fucking weirder than this. So you're looking at it. But yeah, thanks for calling. Thanks for all the kind words and stuff. And we're really glad you're enjoying the show.
And we're back with more Problem Child 2, and this LaWanda nightmare kind of begins here.
Oh, man. This house looks like a fucking Americana threw up all over it. It's red and blue and white and just... Again, crazy primary colors all over the place. Again, it reminds me of the 4th of July.
Yeah, like looking at Fridays or some shit.
Well,
Red Robin without the good food.
Kind of, yeah. It's more like a McDonald's or a Burger
a little
King.
bit, yeah. But Grandpa, he walks in, he's fucking over the moon about this.
Oh, she's with 50 million, Sean.
5. And Junior immediately is like, he's smelling the shit. He's like, what is with this woman? What'd you do to my fucking house? And John Ritter's like, I don't know. I guess she'll go out with me, so that doesn't really matter.
They test the waters here. She's like, John Ritter's like, he's like, you did all this because I opened a checking account?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
On behalf of DuMore Banks, Pharmaceuticals, and Strip Mining. But Junior, tests her here. He, drops a plant, and he's like, oops. She goes over to vacuum it up, and he's like, you try to pull in one more stunt, I'm gonna cut you off with the legs and bury you alive.
There's also when she's bending over, she's trying to purposely
show her ass to them, yeah.
And John Ritter's just like, and the dad's like,
50 million.
Yeah. Huh?
I mean, LaWanda DuMore's the key to my financial comeback.
Yeah, John Ritter a little oblivious. That's kind of the character, but yeah. So she's like, yeah. I like kids and this, that, and the other thing. I forgot I have an appointment. I'll have to come back. Yeah. And he's like, oh, okay.
She has this incredible southern drawl.
Yeah, I can't even do it justice.
It's so funny. She leaves, and in between the interim here, Junior hypnotizes the dog. And it becomes
bite LaWanda.
Stiff as a board. You're gonna bite LaWanda's butt off. Anyway, he ends up just having the dog frozen stiff, and he picks up and throws it in the fucking garden.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
There's a great follow up to that later when the grandpa's after he's drunk or something later in the movie, he's like, my only friend was you, Nippy. Where the hell are you? Nippy. And he finds him. He's like, what happened to you, Nippy? And it's and you're like, wow, that dog is actually alive still. Holy shit.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, LaWanda's cooking her favorite dinners.
Right, she comes back to make the dinner.
Yeah. And
Junior's dressed nice and everything.
Junior's getting ready. There's clowns all over his room, and he has this fucking plan. He's like, this bitch has got to go. She's busting my balls.
Yeah, she's breaking them. Yeah. Which is, again, a callback to the first one, because John Ritter and his wife just assume he loves clowns when they pick him up, and he fucking destroys it all.
He starts a fire in his room.
Yeah,
in the first
he
movie.
does. So good callback.
I love how LaWanda's crew came in and changed everything to clowns, but left the fucking Roach Motel, right?
Well, it was in the script show. We needed that for the next scene.
They just left that, no problem.
Yeah. Because, Junior, even though he made this promise to Dad, he really hates LaWanda.
Well, LaWanda's a really bad person.
Well, she does flat out tell him how, like you just said, if you fuck this up for me, you're gone.
You're going to a boarding school in Baghdad.
Baghdad, Dad. She said Baghdad.
She said Baghdad. But the dinner scene is so fucking funny, man, because they're all sitting down, beautiful dinner.
Oh, this is right, up there with the Beetlejuice one.
Oh, it's so good. So they're going to eat, and Grandpa's trying to fuck. Big Ben's trying to get the tomato, and he's like, "What in the hell is in this salad?" Meanwhile, a fucking piece of lettuce is crawling across the table.
We got fucking LaWanda with this lettuce.
It's blue cheese, and she's got a big fucking roach on her face.
And then, Grandpa and all them realize what's happening, and John Ritter's running on the table, trying to get the roaches, and Junior's just dying.
There's roaches all over the place, man. Upton Pratt exploded next door, and fucking Junior just scooped them up into a bag.
Pretty much.
all the Tom Savini's extras got away.
So then LaWanda's like freaking out, and Junior gets in trouble. What the hell, Junior? You said you were gonna behave. Oh, but Dad, she hates me.
And he's like, I'm not having it. Shut the fuck up. You're a liar. I don't trust you. Blah blah blah.
Right. This is the nail in the coffin as far as the trust goes.
So they go to the school, and there's like a show and tell night, or like a parent teacher night, or some shit.
I guess it's supposed to be the science fair, but they never actually say that.
Well, no,
he's got a science project.
Well, he has a science project. He shows him his desk and all that stuff. Looks like fucking Post Malone. His science project is a guy in a electric chair.
A guy?
It's the bow tie killer, man. It's
Michael Richards.
It's Michael Richards, which is so... Dude, so what's funny is I watched the Blu-ray, and like I really only watched this movie on VHS, and I didn't notice that there was a bow tie.
Oh, yeah. Elevates that joke.
Maybe I just never noticed before.
Yeah, no. I mean, lower quality. Now you got the crystal clear picture.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like he's like hitting the lever. He's like, I didn't do it.
I'm innocent.
Which, off screen, I guess he's dead. They killed him.
Mr. Thorne's there, and he's wearing a fucking diaper.
That's the diaper,
I'm talking cartoon-ass, like, giant safety pin diaper.
I mean, you did say earlier in this review that it is kind of like a live-action cartoon.
100%. And exactly. And everybody's just kind of ignoring it.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's not the science fair. You're right. It's just some kind of school function because they have this like 4th of July.
A salute to democracy because it's democracy and we're saluting it.
Right. The puppet show. I forgot about that. Because, it's again, after John Ritter yelled at him and told him, like, you're not behaving and I don't trust you, he sees this puppet show interrupted and someone else now making voices and bad jokes.
So dig this. When I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of Rocky and Bullwinkle because it was on Cartoon Network a lot. Like the reruns.
Yep.
And I'm listening to this back today, and I'm like, is that fucking June Foray doing the voice? And I was like, it's gotta be. I was like, that's like, her voice is so iconic. Like, when it's her. So I looked it up, and it was. She did Rocky the Flying Squirrel from Rocky and Bullwinkle, Natasha, of course, and like she's basically the female Mel Blanc.
So weird cameo, but okay.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Legendary, by the way.
So John Ritter marches up there like, I'm going to show my kid what's what, and then grabs both puppet arms and rips him up, and he falls off the stage first. But then they stand up and, oh no, it's actually Trixie!
Who are you? Who the hell are you?
Right, and Junior's like, hey, Dad, I saved you a seat!
Saved you a seat. Good show, huh?
Yeah, he's being good for once.
Yeah. So this is the crux where it's like, oh, that's Annie's kid.
Right, the big reveal.
And Annie's like, look, this is why we can't get together, because my kid sucks. And John Ritter's like, no, my kid sucks too. We can like help each other, And she's not having it.
Right.
So they split ways. He's kind of bummed because it's like, she's beautiful. She's really sweet and kind. And like, they could help each other. You know what I mean?
But, he basically goes to LaWanda and he's like, what do you really want to do, LaWanda?
Ugh.
And, she's playing it on thick, man. She's reading him like a book.
Well, the other thing is, like, Annie just keeps running away. So John's like, I got to fix my kid problem, and I got to fix my dick problem because I need to fuck, and my kid needs to be taught a lesson. So LaWanda's there. She's giving all the money. She's worth $50 million. She's fixing the house. She's cooking. She's cleaning. She's doing all this shit. And she's like, hey, Benjamin, would you like, to marry me? And that's basically, he asks her to marry him.
You're right. There's even a scene when he gives Junior the hard time.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, can I go in there, give the mother's touch?
Yeah, that's the Baghdad scene.
Yeah, exactly. So, he, like you just said, he's going to marry her. So Junior's like distraught now. Like, oh, shit, what the hell am I going to do?
On Saturday, by the way.
Oh, yeah, very quick. This is like
a week.
Jerry
or like
Blake.
3 days. Oh, dude.
All over again. Talk about Stepfather 3.
Jerry Blake came over and he's like, you really should do something about that boy. You should get married. Be a family, you know what I mean?
And they were just like, I mean, that's what we're doing. I don't know why you're getting so intense about this. Book, TV, I don't remember what the fuck.
Birdhouse, right, Mr. Ed.
Starts just firing off the words. They're just very confused.
He's got that flannel on. It's
God, he's got the flannel.
Steer clear.
Now you're really in trouble. He's got the garage then. But yeah, so Annie's the preferred choice, but like you said, she won't date him, so she's basically scratched off the list.
Again, with the bits, we have the scene inserted here, which I think is fucking hilarious. It's just so out of left field and so great. Animal Control comes over.
Yeah, at
to
first
the
I'm
house,
like, what the fuck?
And he's like, hey, you see any weird dogs? And they're like, no, I haven't seen any weird dogs, but Nippy's been acting funny. Lost his spunk because he hypnotized it. It's like a wooden dog. It's basically rim shot from fucking
from Ernest Scared Stupid. Yeah.
So he's like, oh, we know what's wrong with him. We got just the thing. They crack open a fucking can of Chow Down, and it's like a commercial, and they're like, Chow Down comes in 3 different flavors: beef, chicken, and horse.
It's kind of hilarious.
It's great. But they're also like clandestinely gay.
Yeah,
which
weird
is kind of funny.
character quirk where they're like touching each
Not
other.
now.
Yeah. But they're like, yeah, what are you feeding that dog? Just table scraps. Like, I gotta give him this shit. They give the whole speech. And the dog runs over and gobbles it down. And then we get this, like, talk about a long piss scene. We get this long ass fart and this massive pile of dog shit.
It's just a shit gag, but it's so funny because the pile of shit is bigger than the dog.
Oh, double its size, and which is probably a combination of the food and the fact that it was frozen for a week, holding all that in. And they're all like, "Woo, okay, yeah, that did the job."
So they're going. So LaWanda and Ben are going to get like blood tests and shit, and like order things, like get ready for the wedding and all that.
I don't know if that's still a thing or not. Like when you get married, get your blood test.
Again, this is like some weird pseudo 50s callback,
I guess,
thing where it has like all. I'm saying it has that American apple pie ideas. Cooking in this weird, colorful stew of Americana.
I mean, we have the blood in there literally just so that when he has these these animal control people, I should say, they're like, "Oh, what's in that box? This is like the rabies blood. You don't want to touch that." Cut to the
rabies,
looking, looking at the blood in the microscope, and you're putting the pieces together as it's happening, and he sees LaWanda's blood, and it's this cartoon rabies.
Oh, dude, I love the animated sequence of these fucking like rabies worms like eating each other,
and this guy's so over the top. Oh my god! Like runs and slides his chair over, and he's like, "Get me animal control." Like somebody just said there's a bomb in a building or something. Like he is like very intense.
LaWanda's having a fucking bridal shower.
Right, yeah.
And the animal control comes and
after
one of the
she eats
guests.
a cupcake.
Yeah, after she eats a cupcake with all this fucking shit on her mouth. And
she's foaming at the mouth. It's great.
The woman, she goes, "Oh my lord, somebody hired strippers."
Oh yeah, at first. So she's like, "Ooh."
He's like, "Oh, we better grab her. She's already foaming at the mouth."
And they drag her ass out. They even cuff her.
They cuff her and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "We're the Department of Health, man. You have rabies." What?
So then we cut to the hospital and she's literally strapped down like Frankenstein's monster.
I'm tied to a bed.
And that's not enough. They're still gonna get married. It's still happening. She's not gonna delay it. And Junior's like, "Shit."
I love the picture that Junior draws of her as like a rabid dog.
Yeah. So Junior's like, "Okay, what the hell now do I have to do?"
He overhears this guy next door talking to his wife. And he's like, "When I die, I want people to remember me." And he's like, "I'm going to have the biggest nose in the world."
It's slapsticky as hell.
It's fucking fantastic. It's so simple, but so funny.
Yeah.
He switches the fucking charts.
Comedy classic, a trope I'm happy to see in every time it comes up.
Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, and Dr. Howard.
Mr. Bean's in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Dropping his fucking watch in.
Exactly. Yeah, Jerry and Kramer with the mints.
Yes.
But yeah, so she gets this surgery unbeknownst to her, and we get it's a little bit later, but we get the scene when she wakes up in the middle of the night, kind of like remind me of Twilight Zone a little bit.
My arms are free.
Yeah, and she rips all the fucking, or Batman even again.
Mirror.
Yeah, mirror. And she sees herself, and it's this hilarious scene where we just get the full view of her with the nose, this massive Pinocchio nose. And getting it from every angle. It's fucking hilarious. But Junior thinks he's got it in the bag. That's it.
He's kinging, dude. He's like, "Me and Dad are going to Pizza-rific tonight, baby." Right. And they see Annie and Trixie there, so they go and they're hanging out and they sit with them and they're talking to them.
Right. And
that's where they're bonding a little bit, like Annie and Ben, and he's telling them about Big Ben on TV with his ass hanging out.
And even you have Trixie and Junior bond a little bit here and kind of call truce and are like, "All right, we'll be pals." Like we both, because they see Peabody there. Yeah. And they're both ripping on him and they're like, "Yeah, you're not too bad."
Peabody's there. Gilbert Gottfried's there with his girlfriend. He's like,
I guess.
"Wait, it's first class with me all the way, babe. You know what? It's not like those restaurants you go to where you got to talk into the clown face."
It's a funny thing. Again, I don't want to keep saying a funny visual like 100 times in this episode.
Wait until later when we go home, I'll put on the Zorro outfit.
And he's like laughing and shit. And he's like, "Holy shit, it's the kids! It's both of the kids!
It's him and it's her! And he's got a flatulence problem and he's eating a pizza and it's him and then there!"
And he's like making a huge scene over it. And then like John Ritter and Amy Yasbeck are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, well, first they throw meatballs at him. They throw it right in his girl's cleavage. And then Trixie hits him in the head. And then he makes a comment like, "You disgusting kids, you should be locked in cages."
And John Ritter's like, "You can't say that to my kid." And fucking Gilbert Gottfried throws this entire plate of spaghetti or something at him. Pizza.
Big ass food fight. Man,
Talk about Three Stooges. This is like out of Stooges.
So first of all, I want to talk about the pizza in this scene because like when he gets hit in the face with the pizza and there's like that cheese is so gross. And it's just like bullshit with like methyl cellulose. Like that's what that,
okay.
it's not like real cheese.
It looks good.
It's gross.
Because he gets hit Godfrey gets hit in the face, I think. Then John Ritter.
Then
or
the chick.
Amy Yasbeck gets hit. Then the chick. Then it's just the food's getting thrown at everybody. I think the only people that don't get hit are literally Trixie and Junior.
And there's just a huge food fight in Pizzerific. It's great.
They're the only ones that get kicked out for life.
Yes.
Gilbert Godfrey gets to stay, even though he kind of started. Well, I guess actually the kids did, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but
he kept it going. It was fucking kids.
He caused the scene.
And then, they're kind of starting to connect, but, he's getting married tomorrow. He's clearly conflicted. But the kids are like, all right, we need to make this, especially Junior. It's his plan, honestly.
Well, he doesn't want to get stuck with that bitch, LaWanda.
No. So he calls Trixie over at night.
Yeah.
And Grandpa's sleeping on the couch. He's like, we got to get your mom and my dad together. He's like, I don't mind your mom. She's like, I don't mind your dad. He's like, oh, it'll be great. And plus, I don't have to deal with that bitch LaWanda.
So Grandpa like tries to stop him, and they just like fucking bum rush him, and I don't even know what, beat the shit out of him, tie him up.
Trixie's like, I don't know what we're gonna do. He's like, just get him. Or they just beat the shit out of him, punch him in the balls or something. He's like, oh,
this fucking old man gets his ass kicked.
So they leave. They're like running down the street, and they go to the Love Rock.
And they because Mr. Thorne told them that like if they make a wish, it might come true. Love magic, all that shit.
Junior puts his hand on there.
Almighty Love Rock, can you please bring Amy Yasbeck and Ben, my dad back together again or something? We love you and we hope this works. Good night.
Which I guess it does actually work because we go to John Ritter now realizing his son's missing, and you get the phone call off screen, and you cut right to them in the car together. Like, I don't know what the hell happened. I'm sorry, my kid got your kid involved, and vice versa. And they have kind of a weird like back and forth, like almost like a dick measuring contest. Like, oh, my kid's a bigger pain in the ass. No, my kid. Well, Junior's had so much destruction, Yeah. He's like, why are we even arguing about this?
Yeah, because they should be looking for the kids instead of who's the worst. But it is a kind of sweet scene where they like wait. The kids wake up and they see them coming together and like, it worked, it worked.
And they're hanging out the Love Rock still.
Hanging out the Love Rock, and then like they're giving each other the eyes, and obviously they're like, I think she even says like, oh well, you're getting married today or whatever. Well, I guess I'll see you later.
Yeah, and it's like kind of that that unspoken thing where you can kind of see it in John Ritter's eyes. Good acting on his part, but he's like almost like John, about to say it but doesn't kind of thing.
Turn the other fucking cheek. You shouldn't even ask LaWanda to marry you, dude.
Well, we need this climax, so...
Yes, I understand. Which pays off in spades.
Yeah. Because we cut to the next day, and, Junior's now he's still trying to stop this damn thing, but he's running out of time.
He fucking trips LaWanda with
he's got the suit on and everything at the wedding now.
Which is... Oh, speaking of colors before, so Big Ben's got green on, and he wears green throughout the movie, which is pretty fucking great because he's a greedy piece of shit.
Right, and we were talking about this before we started, but because John Ritter's thing is blue.
Yes.
But then when he's with LaWanda, he starts wearing a red jacket, a red hat.
It starts, and it's obviously uncomfortable on him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But then LaWanda and Junior also wear red together because they're like the symbols of, I don't know what, chaos?
I guess. But yeah, you're right. He trips her as she's walking down the aisle because he wants John Ritter to see the face before he marries him. He's like, no one will marry
her face!
Right, but she did, $800, what'd you say, $382,000
of triple-double overtime plastic surgery.
Right, to fix it.
Yeah.
And Junior's like, shit! So then they're up there doing their vows or whatever.
You know what? She's probably got like the Spaceballs.
The Druidia?
Yeah.
The reverse job.
The reverse job.
Yeah, that's what they were going to do to what's-her-face, the Princess of Druidia. But yeah, as they're about to say yes or I do, whatever the fuck you say, Trixie comes in with this bulldozer with the fucking rock or whatever this thing's called.
The Love Rock.
And he's like, yeah, my pal Trixie. And she's like, driving this thing in.
Except for that split second where she turns into a full-grown man wearing a wig.
Yeah, well, they can't literally have a kid driving this fucking thing.
Don't even show it, though. It's just so funny.
They needed that extra insert shot.
It's great.
But LaWanda's like, oh my God, kids ruin everything. I fucking hate kids. And John Ritter's like, wait, huh? And she drops this fucking boulder like Indiana Jones, and this thing is just knocking chairs over.
It's rolling down the aisle.
And like you were saying earlier, Smith's playing the violin poorly.
Yeah.
And LaWanda's just like, huh. And she like walks up to it like the guy talking about Austin Powers.
I command you to stop. And gets fucking crushed right into the fucking ground.
The whole time she's walking up to do it, though, Smith's like, LaWanda, that ain't gonna work. LaWanda, wait.
Mr. Moore.
And then he gets attacked by Nippy.
Oh, man. It's just so good. So the fucking Love Rock like rolls over and stuff. Wedding's off clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
John Ritter goes to see Annie. He's like, Annie, I love you. You're the one I want to be with. Duh.
But she's like, I'm sorry your wedding got ruined. He's like, this was a wedding that needed to be ruined.
Even though Junior couldn't do it, he needed the help from Problem Child TOO.
Yeah, well, it worked out, I guess.
It did.
Because then we get a classic. Well, first.
Well, I love how like Big Ben goes over to Little Ben and he's like, you gotta go pick up your bride off the ground. And he's like,
$50 million.
He's like, if you love her so much, why don't you marry her? And he's like, hey, why not?
Get that
and he
cha-ching
fucking pulls her out of the hole, and she's like, get off me! I hate your whole family. He's like, I love you.
Oh, you love me? You have a huge
fucking
kiss.
Old man just making out with this one.
And then I guess
grabbing her ass and shit.
Yeah, implied they get together or something.
Yeah. So Junior and
Find out in Problem Child 3, never.
No, they're not even in it.
No. Yeah, you're right. So then we cut to them just kind of.
Trixie gives him an M80 and like Junior shoots it into the cake and it like launches into space.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Lands on a fucking Grandpa and LaWanda.
And then
Nippy like fucking Stay Puffed.
Oh yeah, dude. They get the fucking Stay Puft cake, and then Nippy like takes a shit like right next to him.
So they gotta smell it. Imagine if he did that next to Ted Danson when he was like under the sand in Creepshow, like to make it even worse. Like, yeah, not only are you buried in there, you're gonna
Richard!
drown.
Richard,
it fucking smells, Richard. Get this dog out of here, Richard.
I'm gonna get you, Richard.
Smelling shit.
Just a pile of shit next to him.
And then Nippy's licking his face.
Oh no!
But no, here.
Oh my god!
Nippy drops another massive dump. They got to sniff, and it just kind of cuts to our heroes, I guess, just walking off.
We're saved by love.
Yeah, literally.
Kick it up, man. And that's like this movie comes in and ends as abruptly as it comes in.
Yeah,
and I'm with it.
It doesn't wear out its welcome at all.
No, not at all. Where are we putting this?
I saw the shelf, easy.
Yeah.
I do think I like the first one better.
Yeah. Okay. Why? You had mentioned this. I want to know why.
I like the plot a little better in the first one. Again, maybe if on repeat viewings this could change, but I don't know. Just the plot's a little bit more coherent to me. I like not really knowing, outside of obviously being Problem Child, what the hell's this kid gonna do? And he really, like, I reference like Home Alone and Dennis the Menace, but he is like the extreme end of that in both of these films. And I guess I don't know. Without just like talking about the entire movie, I don't know. I just like the interaction with the characters, like Michael Richards' character, Amy Yasbeck's, I think, a little funnier in that movie.
Sure.
It's just some of the things he does in that film are just fucking hilarious to me. Not that this one isn't.
Yeah.
It's a very close 1 and 2. Like I would say the first one for me is like a 5 out of 5. This is like a 4 out of 5. So, it's right there.
Yeah.
But with that said, yeah, this movie's fucking hilarious. It does a thing that Home Alone 2 does really well, where it elevates all the jokes, or not elevates, but it takes all those jokes and the callbacks work really well, I guess is a better way to put that. We talked about that in our Home Alone 2
I think that's where this kind of
episode.
stemmed from. We were like, oh, Home Alone 2 and Problem Child 2 does it really well,
yeah,
too.
I mean, I think we list a bunch in that episode. Austin Powers specifically came up,
right.
like Ace Ventura and stuff like Addams Family.
Yeah.
But this is one of those ones that just the sequel gets it. It doesn't like I just said, wear out its welcome at all.
It doesn't fuck around. It gets right to business.
No, and it adds new elements, and you're not like, all right, I've seen this already. It adds that dynamic with Trixie, where like, yeah, you got those 2 problem childs, but they're kind of at it, going at it throughout the film.
Yeah.
It's not just a rehash of the first film with Michael Richards or with another killer or something. It's like, no, it's LaWanda. There's enough different about it. It's actually even more different than Home Alone 2, honestly, from 1.
Big time.
And then the jokes are fucking hilarious. I don't have much else to say that we didn't already say. Camera work's really good in this. That color stuff you were talking about, very well done in this. I know almost every movie does that, but it's very noticeable in this film without really having to sit there and think about it. And that's a good thing, in my opinion.
100%. You notice it later.
More so,
and I've seen it so many fucking times that it's like, oh.
I think the big one, the John
see
Ritter clothes change, but yeah, the rest of it, you kind of just got to be paying attention to a point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, funny as hell. Everyone's got great comedic timing. I guess my only negative is, I guess I'll just say with Amy Yasbeck, again, I thought she was way better in the first film.
It's a totally different character.
Totally different character. I get what they're going for this. That's about the only negative, I would say, because I want her to be more in a comedic role than she is in this.
Sure.
But you have her daughter.
But I also understand the part she plays in this.
She's like basically the straight man, honestly.
Opposite LaWanda. LaWanda's the outlandish, crazy ginger in this movie.
True.
You know what I mean?
So it kind of, balance itself out without a doubt. Really good movie. Don't know why I waited so long. Again, I remember some of those scenes just from being on TV or if looking stuff up on YouTube.
The puke
one, yeah, definitely had seen that before. But this was kind of fun for me to kind of watch both. Again, I saw the first one a long time ago, so I only really remembered like the presents being thrown in the pool scene and the opening and not much else. So
I love the pickles and the piñata and shit.
Yeah, oh god,
that's a good one.
That's what I'm talking about.
The fucking bear scene's a good scene.
Oh, the bear scene. There's a lot of good scenes in both movies. They don't really tread similar territory, so it's really well done.
Yeah, man. Clearly. Shelf.
Well, right.
Clearly. Absolutely. I've said a lot of things throughout this whole episode, especially I front loaded the beginning with kind of how I feel about this, but like I think it's a perfect comedy sequel, straight up. I think it takes what it does. The first one does its own thing in terms of like the journey from how the orphan kid finds family,
right,
and finds somebody who doesn't give up on him with John Ritter,
right.
And really loves him for who he is, even though he is a bad kid, but he still has a good side. He just acts out because everybody treats him like a piece of shit since his whole life.
Right, or ignores him.
Or whatever. Or he's a weirdo, or he's a funny-looking kid, all that kind of shit. And the only person he can relate to is a fucking serial killer.
Well, right.
You know what I mean? Which is like this kind of warped thing in the first movie. But like the way that this picks up and goes right into it, and it's like, okay, well, we already know he's a problem child. We already know that how he feels about that. Now it's the bonding from the end of that film of him and John Ritter and kind of going into the next phase of their life together and becoming a family and that journey of that. And I think it does it really fucking well while bringing back characters that are fucking hilarious from the first movie and amplifying them. Again, I said it before, but like every character introduction is like a fucking shotgun blast to the face in this flick. And everybody's is funny as hell, totally on point. The jokes are on point. It is toilet humor.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a lot of it's low hanging fruit, but a lot of it's also written like really smartly. I love the callback things. And some of it's just downright goofy. Again, it's like a big fucking it's like a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's like a big cartoon. I think I've said all I can really say. I it's just great. I just really love it. And I think if you haven't seen Problem Child or Problem Child 2, definitely watch it back to back. And if you do love them, I think, and you haven't seen it in a while, definitely time for a revisit. Because it is the time. July is the time to watch Problem Child 2. Whether you missed it for 4th of July, that's fine. Watch it now. Have yourself a barbecue. It's nice and warm out. Kick it with some summertime Problem Child.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess pick up the Blu-ray if you want. It's not streaming anywhere. I mean, I watch it on Vudu personally, so it is up for rental.
I think it's like
both 1 and 2 are rental for me.
Yeah, I have a double pack on DVD, but I realized it was 4:3, and I was like, I need to own this film in widescreen,
especially if it's one of your favorites.
Yeah, so I looked it up on Amazon, and I think it was like $14.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, okay, sure.
One of those generic brands that just puts out a quality product. WB or something like that.
It's Universal.
There you go. So you know it's at least going to be a good transfer.
Yeah, and it looks great. I mean, it's not like super clean 4K restoration, but at least it's a widescreen presentation, and it looks nice. And again, we were talking about the bow tie thing I didn't see before. You could see LaWanda's ass in full HD.
Still no Alyssa Milano. I feel
no Alyssa Milano.
Always got to mention
She's
that.
She's trying, though.
She is. She's trying. Grandpa's watching. We know that.
Grandma.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Well, I'm glad we finally got to it.
Yes. So yeah, like we said earlier, if you want some more Movie Dumpster content, you can head over to patreon.com/moviedumpster. You can get an ad-free audio version of the show, and you can support the show for as little as $2 a month.
And if you're watching this video on YouTube, please like it and share it with your friends. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, give it that 5-star review. And, like it if you're on Spotify. It really helps get the word out on the show. And, again, like I said earlier, we got to get more of these people in here, more dumpster dwellers to enjoy the dumpster goodness.
For sure. And if you want more updates on the show or schedules, we got a brand new website out, moviedumpsterpodcast.com. It's the same address, brand new website. We got events up there. We have the most recent videos. It gives you links to all of the YouTube and whatever podcast platform you want to listen on. You can also check out our brand new store there as well.
Yes.
And don't forget to check us out on social media as well, at Movie Dumpster on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and now Threads. Schmancy.
Yes, Threads, the new hotness, not to be confused with the 1984 made-for-TV film.
So that's it. That's Problem Child 2 from 1991, directed by Brian Levant. I'm Joe Lascola.
And I'm Sean O'Rourke.
Thanks for visiting the dumpster.